My name's Hayley and I'm currently living with stage 4 melanoma, and I discovered MPA through their closed Facebook page.
Hi, my name is Russ. I have stage 4 melanoma. I've had 4 surgeries to date, and my wife and myself run the MPA support group in Townsville.
My name's Carmel. I'm living with stage 4 melanoma. I was very lost until a very dear friend of mine phoned the MPA support line, which really helped so much.
My name's Judy. I look after my husband Ron, who was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma. I found out about MPA by attending an information forum.
I was originally diagnosed about 12 years ago, but back then it was had a stage 2 diagnosis, and I guess the reality of the situation didn't really hit me back then.
I was very afraid when I first found out that I had melanoma, and I was living in a rural area 3 hours from the regional area that I live now. So I got a phone call on my phone from the clinic, and I thought, oh, here we go. So I rang them up and they said the doctor wants you in here today. And I saw the doctor and he said, this is 5.5 mil deep melanoma, Clark level 5. You need to have a PET scan. You're likely to have tumour. And it was just devastating, absolutely devastating.
We didn't know what was available, except we were just desperate for anything, any kind of movement, and it seemed to take forever to start, and we were so keen to start straight away, immediately, but it still had to go through all the various processes, and so a couple of months later he finally started some treatment. Yeah.
Initially I was just dealing with my GP, who like Judy and your husband, I moved from Sydney to a rural area, so I didn't know any doctors and didn't know anyone that had melanoma, didn't know where to turn. So I initially just went to my GP, and then he referred me to another hospital in the closest town. From there, they couldn't answer all my questions either about, I said, we've been trying to have children, how do I access how this is going to affect my fertility? They didn't have any idea about that. So then I was sent to a city as well to get more information in relation to that, because no one here could answer my questions. I wasn't really told about trials. It was just going to be radiation and then surgery, but from there it had spread to other areas as well, so it was in kidney, pancreas and both ovaries, and then I just found that they were seeing so many doctors at once. At one stage there were 7 or 8 doctors, and I found it really hard that there was no one to sort of help me coordinate everything. It was just, I was talking to someone at work who said, do you know that you can fill out travel forms? Like, no one had even explained to me. Like, for a half an hour doctor's appointment, I was doing a 3-hour trip, and there was nowhere to find out that I was able to get, subsidised for that, or who to go to for what thing. I don't know how people coordinate all of it themselves. It was like, and my husband's a very organised person, because he kept us on track and kept track of our appointments, because I just found it very, very difficult.
Like, most of the information that my wife and I have received has been from the MPA community. Do you know what I mean? Because these people are walking in the same shoes that I'm walking in. They're living the same lives that my wife and I are living, and they've either been there or they're going there, and we're all on the same walk. And we can all discuss things freely as to where we are and what we're doing.
And I think there's one line that I really love that people say in the MPA community, and it is never a good time to have melanoma, but if there was ever a time to have it, it would be now, because of these treatments that are coming along and just changing everything, and it just gives hope to hear that line all the time. That's a great thing.
So I've got the gene mutation that you were talking about earlier, so I'm on the targeted treatment, which I'm able to just take. They're just tablet form. I just take them from home in the morning and of the afternoon. But with some of the the side effects initially were very bad. Like I had temps of up to 42 degrees, shivering, like to the point where my teeth felt like they were going to fall out. They were chattering that much. You know, I had rashes and diarrhea and nausea, and it was terrible. And I ended up just going to my local hospital, but it is a very small hospital. They don't do a lot of procedures or anything like that there. They hadn't met anyone before that was on my treatment, so didn't really know how to manage it. I ended up in hospital for I think about a week, just getting fluids, pain relief, potassium. I think they had me on, and I was actually transferred up to a bigger hospital, just over an hour away, and I stayed there for a little while as well. So I was in and out of hospital for the first 7 or 8 months. I think about 3 times I was in hospital for about a week at a time. But then from there, my side effects sort of lessened. I don't know, maybe my body started getting used to it or something, and now I am able to manage just my side effects from home with, pain relief and Panadol and cough mixture and creams and stuff like that. So
before he started his oncology treatment, he had radiation and radiotherapy, and he's lost the hearing in one ear completely, and almost 2/3 in the other ear. So he now wears hearing aids, and it's all very difficult. And he loves music, so he's has trouble listening to his music
Very
and
challenging.
having conversations. So it's sort of been a bit traumatic in that respect. But yeah, that's probably the worst side effect that's left him permanently with that disability.
We've got more friends now because we've made all these friends with the MPA community. Like these guys here, we've got, my wife and I've got daughters similar age to you guys, and we often look at you guys as being family. And we've got a number of people in the MPA group that we get along with really well, talk often, so we've gained friends.
I sometimes just feel, sometimes like if I'm walking down the main street or something, people, if they see you, they want to ask you how you're doing, but maybe sometimes people don't know how to approach you, or they might think, I don't know her that well, but I'd really like to find out how she's going. And sometimes I think maybe people can be a little bit standoffish, and sort of just look at you as the girl with cancer.
I think people can, be afraid or fearful that they're of intruding, or, sort of just being nosy. People might think, don't know what to say.
I think maybe we're talking about the closed Facebook page. Maybe people there are so open because, they can ask questions and stuff from home. They don't have to build up the confidence to walk up to, a patient or a carer and ask a rather personal question. Whereas from their own living room at home, if they can just type a message to you, they're quite comfortable, and same, you can take your time to answer and, think about what you want to say and how much information you actually want to share with people. And I think everyone, although they're on a different journey, and everyone's melanoma story is so different, on that page everyone still has that thing in common, and everyone wants to be as informed as they can, and I think that's why everyone's so open there.
Linda, or my wife and I have been together for 40 years. We met when we were very young, and after 40 years, you just learn to adapt to everything. We've been through lots of things. Children getting married, grandchildren. We've had a grandchild die. And we've just adapted to everything, which I'm extremely grateful for. Because Linda, my wife has been so supportive, it's not even funny.
I find that when I really need to talk about my deepest, most inner thoughts, it's not with my partner or with family or even friends. It's definitely the MPA support line counsellor, because you can be real and tell what's really going on for you emotionally that might shock or really upset those closest to you. You really don't need to hear what you really think or what you really feel, and then once all that's out of the way and off your chest, then you're right down to go again. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I find the MPA website to be very good because there is a lot of information there, but the best part is that you can actually ring someone there and ask them to talk you through different things that you don't understand. And the beauty of it is all that information is current. You're not looking on Dr. Google, you can have things that are 10 years old.
Sure. Well, you know, we just, we sit and we read together. You know, we go for walks together, we take the dogs out together. We've started doing things like some general maintenance around the house, which he was never really into before, but he said, "Isn't this fun? We're doing this together." And I said, "Yes, isn't it? And we're not even fighting, you know." And, you know, so it's sort of like, you know, we have really nice times doing things.
I would tell my former self at initial diagnosis to receive the diagnosis from the person giving it to me, but then to go online and look for a support group, because that would have saved me a whole lot of emotional trauma, a whole lot of knowing where am I supposed to go, what is happening here.
Everyone's melanoma journey is completely different, so if you see something online like a statistic, it's not like going to be your statistic. So everyone, even though stage 4 melanoma, there's so many variations to it. There's you know, you're not going to, you know, you're like, don't compare your story to someone else's. Just really, you know, deal with your professionals and, you know, take on board what people say to you, but just realise that just because something's happened to them or they've done something, it's not going to work for you, or it might not work for you.
I find my whole outlook on life has changed. My goals have completely changed. So I was very work driven. I'm completely the opposite now. And I feel like I'm becoming who I was intended to be. So I love nature, so I spend as much time in nature as I can because it absolutely nourishes me. I make sure that, you know, I'm giving everything to my body that it needs, making sure that I meditate and do, you know, just all these other things just to help me along. Whereas before, no, I don't have time for that. I need to mark all this work. I need to do, you know, all these other things. Just being grateful to spend time with my family and my friends, and very grateful that I'm here. It's another new day. It's great to be alive.
It's about creating memories so that, you know, both of you can sit back and look on things, or you can just, you know, remember all those various things that you did together, you know, going on holiday or climbing a mountain.
We all sort of work to gather as much money as we can so we can have a nice house and have this and have that. But the reality is you've got to be happy in yourself.